let's do a mic check. Give me a count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's good. Here, talk a little bit. Check it. Tell me about that. Was that a or a or something that you were doing with the sensor thing? That was crazy.
Yeah, we had a came into the shop. It wasn't a major repair, but when I looked up the specifications, it said clear as day you had to if you remove the bumper, you had to recalibrate the lane assist system. So I printed everything up, called the dealer, got the prices of everything. Job was all done. I towed the car over there. Dealer says, our body shop doesn't do this. I said, well, I got the documentation. I'll email it over to you. Manufacturer says it needs to be done if you remove the bumper. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't need to be done. My service manager drove the car. He said it's fine. I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to argue with you, but I did my due diligence. I looked up the information. I even took it a step further, and I called the training department and said, what's the thing to do here? They said, you're dead on. It needs to be recalibrated. Long story short, I mean, they didn't recalibrate it. Customer leaves, calls me back. It says my lane assist isn't working correctly. I mean, here I am thinking that the dealer should know what they're doing, but obviously they don't. You know, I think part of the problem that our industry has as a whole is it's built for speed. People have to turn over large volumes, just like the fast food industry. They got to, in order to make a profit and to stay in business, they got to do a ton of volume. So it's more about quantity than it is quality. So when you choose a repair facility, you need to make sure that I'm focused on you and your vehicle. That's it. I'm not focused on 5 insurance companies that are just blowing work my way like crazy. So I don't do a large volume. I mean, some of these guys that are the big insurance referral shops, it probably takes me a month or two to do the amount of volume that they do in 1 week. I mean, it's just insane the amount of volume that they turn. So are they paying attention to the details? And that's really what it comes down to, because with today's vehicles, I mean, it's all in the details. You know, there's so many systems that you have. You know, you have the backup sensors, you have backup cameras, you have lane change avoidance systems, you have adaptive cruise control. I mean, there's so many sensors in these cars now. They're getting way too complicated. But if you're not following the manufacturer specs and making sure that these things aren't lined up properly, or the vehicles aren't scanned, because I heard another guy tell me that cars nowadays have more code written into their computers than F-16 fighter jets or an airplane that's flying you across the country. It's insane the amount of code that's written into these cars nowadays. So, you know, they're just rolling computers, you know. So if you're not taking the time to scan the vehicle and to check all these systems and make sure they're functioning, and you're just fixing dents on fenders and bumpers and hoods and painting them and making them look pretty and sending them out on the road, the poor customer, they don't know the difference. They're just looking at, hey, my car shines, it drives, everything must be okay. And then all of a sudden they go to change lanes and they hit the guy next to them because their system's not working. Now what? Now it's too late. So why not make the investment and look into, spend the time, do your research, pick a shop that you know is looking out for you, not a shop that's, you know, is serving multiple masters, is basically the way I look at it. So when you come into my shop, I'm looking out for you, and that's it. I don't care what the insurance company thinks. They don't fix cars for a living. Their job is to make you whole again. My job is to make sure you get whole again. It's kind of a simple equation, but sadly, over the years, we've let them control what gets done to your vehicle. And by giving them that control, now they've taken advantage of it. Now they want to control and put on cheap parts. They don't want to scan your vehicle because that costs them extra money. Also, it takes extra time, so that costs them extra rental days. So instead of just slowing the whole process down and getting it done right, their goal is just quick and cheap. Get them out the door, turn numbers, get them fast. We need volume, we need production. And they align themselves with shops that are designed perfectly to do that. And there's 3 or 4 of them in the area right now, and I think there's another one coming in. And their sole goal is production. It's straight up volume. The guys in their shop are paid by how much they get done in a day. Our guys are not paid that way. We try to slow it all down. I'd rather them do it right than do it fast. So, you know, everybody's switching. It's the fast food mentality. I don't know what else I can say about it, but that's really what it comes down to. It's just fast food mentality. I mean, you see all these big stores are putting all the littler guys that, I mean, I hate to say it and mention names, but I mean, you look at when you were a young kid and you went to your pharmacy and everybody, they knew you. They knew your whole family. Now you go to they don't know who you are. I hate to bring up brands, but I mean, these big drugstores that are all over the place, they don't know who you are when you walk in there. Same thing with the big hardware stores. I mean, when you went into a little hardware store, they did your screens for you. They'd walk you straight to the aisles and find the screws you're looking for. All that's going away. Everybody's going bigger. Bigger's not always better, So the person that's taking the time to follow the directions and do the thing right instead of just doing it fast. Oh, and if it comes back, we'll just take care of it for you. So the system is quickly catering to the insurance company, which is bad for the consumer.
That was the longest mic check I've ever done. You ready to shoot this thing?
Oh, you mean we're not shooting anything?